Title Insurance and Trust Company of Los Angeles presents
The Soul of Detroit,
a weekly dramatization of the romantic and colorful past that created our
Motor City
of today. Each week, our wandering vaquero
M.L. Elric.
returns with a fascinating true story of the days of the dawn.
You asked it around, get your finger out of my face. It's gone.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, ML.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now?
Hey kids, it's your old pal ML Elric, and the rumors persist. We are not doing anything to put this one to bed. Sean Windsor is here.
Hey!
Erica Erickson is not.
Well, you'd rather have her. I know.
Erica is not here. Sean is here. I mean, when you
Bald head and all.
when you do
New glasses, new hoodie.
when you do the side by side, there is a remarkable resemblance between the two of them, but they are, I swear, two completely and different people.
She is, and I say this with all humility, slightly better looking.
Barely.
I mean, not by much.
I think you're as thin as she is now.
Well.
I think it's a matter of taste. That's what I'm just going to say.
Yeah,
To each their own.
Yeah, exactly.
And to those of you who are soulmates, you can see
Oh, boy.
I'm wearing my team T-shirt with the Supreme Soulmate, Erica. Hail yes, Mark Fellhauer was very happy after Sunday. And then Sean, looking a little more hirsute.
Yeah, I was going to say a little more
question?
hair there.
I think you look like you're on Dr. Katz. That
drawing. That was a
drawing.
great show. What an underrated show, Dr. Cat.
Oh, so that thing with Jim Gaffigan doing the manatee, where the manatee goes on the Ricky Lake show, and he's talking.
Now you lost me.
So the
Well,
manatee.
you don't have to explain it.
Yeah, no, you don't need to. Did you see the manatee in a glass-bottom boat
We're not talking about manatees now.
at Crystal Lake?
If I can't finish my story, I don't
Is
want
that
to talk
the name
about
of it?
manatees. He was rescued, right? The manatee.
I don't know. The manatee.
Oh, you really prepped for this story.
Why has it got to be manatee? Why can't it be woman OT? Just saying.
They OT.
Yeah, them OT.
We're done with that.
What are
It's
we
over.
doing? All right.
Okay.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, this is brought to you by Luke Nowacki and Pinnacle Wealth Strategies, who will help you plan for a better future. And we're grateful that Sean has a brighter future because he is, as you listened last week, went through a pretty serious health challenge and has come out looking like it's the best thing that ever happened to you. Is that what you said the other day?
Oh, I don't know that I said that, but
Oh.
but if you want to say that.
Well,
yeah.
I encourage people to listen last week's show and make their own judgment. And we have a new sponsor this week. We're very pleased to be presented to you by the Detroit City Football Club, which
Hey, all right.
we've been big
Really?
supporters of them
No
for years.
way.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, we
Love them.
Are we going to be plastered on somewhere on the new stadium
Just you.
we're working on
with
it.
my new glasses?
We're working on the naming rights. They're thinking of calling it the Soul Bowl. But apparently we have to come up with millions of dollars, and we're actually in the position where we need people to give us dough. Right, Thomas? We'll talk about Thomas a little later in the show, kind of a little biatch out there who wrote a note to us. Of course, he's not listening because he's never going to listen again. And right now he's like, they mentioned me.
No,
Why are you attacking
we
him?
don't need to go after somebody like that.
Yeah, take the high road.
Yeah,
Even
come
a
on.
little worm? We're not
No,
gonna-
don't.
okay.
No,
Every piece of
no, we don't need to do
Maybe
What, are you
that.
listening to Pope Leo now, Sean?
What's his name? What's his name?
maybe it's constructive criticism.
What's his name?
I made it up. It's not a real person.
Is it Thomas?
Thomas is what he said.
Sorry,
yeah.
Thomas.
In
Sorry,
fact, we'll
Thomas.
be giving Thomas's email address later on in the show and his address.
No,
This one
listen.
this
hey,
one must have
listen.
stung, Sean.
Tell us your opinions. It's all good. We're good.
So,
Yeah,
So
we're,
we got
we're all
that.
adults.
and of course, we're brought to you by the Soulmates, who, for as little as $5 a month, get to watch the show, get the show before everybody else, get to avoid all the annoying insertion ads, and get our monthly bonus episode, which last month, Sean, you would have loved it. We had Dan McCarty in here talking about his favorite coaches.
I saw that. I mean,
And his
yeah,
least favorite
I know. I was sorry that I missed that. By the way, are you Mark? Does he always talk this quick, or is it just me
Trying to get a word in before you interrupt him.
lingering pain meds a little bit, and I'm slow, and it's loud in here. It's bright in here. Everybody's talking fast. This is maybe a little too much for me. I think I came back too soon.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you're more comfortable in the coffin? Is that what you're saying?
Plus, I'm sitting down here. I'm low.
Now he's all lively. We worried that Shawn was going to come back.
I'm looking up. You know. Looking up at both of you. You guys are so high.
For all your travails, you're engaged right away. You're diving right in. This is the new.
You know
Shawn
why?
Windsor.
Because he's been here since he's been here for an hour
plus
before we started.
An hour and a half at this point. Yeah, it's time for me to go. I was just thinking about that. Oh wow, that hurt.
I mean, people should have hurt.
That hurt.
Oh, you okay?
Nice.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I won't laugh so loud.
No, that's okay. Damn. The anesthesia, I guess, is still in the system.
You didn't drive here, did you there, Juggy?
No. It's all
I
good.
thought you were on
It's all good.
painkillers. Doesn't that make your hearing lessen?
But I'm not on narcotics.
Oh.
So I can
So you're not
drive.
on the fun painkillers.
He's
No.
He's only half at attention, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow,
Sorry, that's pre-show.
That didn't take long.
It's prep.
That didn't take long.
That's a story for the soulmates.
Some of the drugs, yeah.
So Shawn is kind of in a fog, but I was entirely in a fog on Friday on my way to the Rob Wolchek retirement party. You also missed Rob Wolchek's visit, but he'll be back.
Good.
Because now he's got loads of time on his hands, and it was amazing. It was at some beer hall in Novi, which other than being the home of Kwame Kilpatrick.
It's a beer hall. That's all you need.
Well, it's.
Why are you so dismissive of Thomas and now beer halls? What's going on?
I like beer halls.
In Novi?
I can't say I'm
some beer hall in Novi.
Why do you hate Novi?
Big fan of Novi. It just feels.
Why do you hate beer?
It just feels like
I hate everything.
And halls.
It's one giant mall.
I hate Michigan.
But the collection, just the University of Michigan. The assemblage of talent there was unbelievable. I mean, you had Carrie Birmingham, who was one of the original problem solvers there, along with Rob, of course. And Rob is funny because, he's not, he's one of these very gregarious people who at the same time doesn't like to go to parties and always seems like he's going to. So he showed up and he was wearing his coat. And I thought, I didn't realize that at first. I thought, oh shit, Rob got here. He's already leaving. I better go over and say hi. No, he kept his coat on the whole time. He shut the place down, but the whole time it looked like Rob's getting ready to take off. Yeah,
didn't want to be feted. Yeah.
No, I think he was both touched, but also uncomfortable by the attention.
It's so rare for someone in that business to get a retirement and a retirement party. It's rare.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Most
I
people
think
just get fired.
I think
and you never see them again.
You guys didn't have a send off at Riff, right? The Drew and Mike show.
No, and we had the luxury of being on a week after we got blown out.
Yeah,
which you never hear that.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a going away party at Fox too, which I'd never like them. I think I've had like 6 of them at the.
How long were you there though? 6 months.
7.5 years, longer than I've been anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you were at the Free Press for longer, weren't you?
Nope.
All told, though,
Nope.
right?
So all told, more.
You won your Pulitzer and got the hell out
after the pay cut.
Gotcha.
No, I stayed.
So we've heard.
Yeah. No, I stayed for many years after the Pulitzer, and when they stopped running my stories, and I decided I needed to leave, and that's when I went to Fox too. But yeah, I worked to the end. In fact, I had a story on my last day. They wouldn't.
How long
put on
were you
the
at the paint store?
Off and on for a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Channel 4? He casually left that one out.
Blink of an eye. A year and a half and a week.
Okay.
But you were just across the street at that point from the Free Press.
Yes. But this is about Rob. This is about Rob's going away party. So
no, we've heard enough. Right?
Did anybody embarrass themselves at the party?
No, everybody was very, very.
Anybody fart out of their belly?
I left.
Oh, you weren't there.
Yeah, there may have been some gas passed, but I think it was in the more conventional manner.
I gotcha.
Because it was a beer hall. But Meltdown was there, which I thought was kind of cool. And at the same time he was there, he was also on Ozzy's Boneyard on Sirius XM because they record their cuts and then they put the show up. There was a tornadoes at the same time. I think this party was happening. There were tornadoes in Union City, and I did not know about that at the time, but I was saying, boy, if there's a news event, we've got so much talent here in terms of photographers and producers and writers and reporters. We could cover any story that were to happen right now, except most of the people, they're retired. So it was kind of it was an interesting gathering, but Rob was very moved by all the people who were there, and it was a lot of fun. It was
sounds great.
So I think we'll see more of Rob here on the show because it's too early for him to open the pool.
All right.
So that was great. And then Shawn, while Rob is transitioning into a more gentleman of leisure, Shawn's back on the job. He was at the big basketball game on Sunday, which is kind of like taking the season off and then coming back for the World Series. And I hope you had a better time watching it than I did, Shawn, because it felt like a game the Spartans could have taken, but just didn't.
I was nervous, and for the first time in a while, it in a good way. It felt good. I was a little anxious, even heading to Crisler. I don't live too far from Crisler, or as they say now, the Crisler Center, right, Mark? Yep. No longer Crisler Arena. That made that change a long time ago.
Well, it's much better.
Yeah, right. Oh God, remember what a dark, dank.
Oh, it held them back. It held them back. They only won a national championship in that building, but it held them back.
Yeah, that place was.
It wasn't
awful.
the bad coaching or the corruption or anything. It was the building. It was the light bulbs.
Oh my God.
It's always something.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I heard.
What a cheap shot. Boy, you're salty about that Sunday game then, huh?
Yeah.
Let me ask
How
you
about,
this.
how about Tom?
Are you
how
gonna
about Tom Izzo
are you gonna ask
saying-
them to review the play?
How about Izzo
that
saying
happened
that
every
the
2
atmosphere
seconds.
was great for here?
Wait, say that again?
Izzo said in his press conference afterwards, he said, yeah, the atmosphere was good for here.
But that's not Izzo throwing shade. It's dark there. It's naturally
He's a
shady.
salty little baby, man. When it comes to Michigan, he's a salty little baby, and he never gives the other team credit.
He did when John Beeline was coaching.
Yeah.
Not when Juwan Howard coached, not now with Dusty May. Yeah. It's interesting. It depends on it's all about
It is interesting.
It's all about who's the coach for him.
The only
I like
thing,
him, but he is in post games. He's just a salty little bitch about things.
the only thing that he and Dusty May see eye to eye about is seeing eye to eye because they're both wee men.
Okay.
They're both little guys.
Yeah. And
I'm just saying they do see eye to eye on something, but it's just
I was
like
gonna-
literally seeing eye to eye.
No. If I could just say,
Otherwise, they're two very different programs, and Carlos Menares wrote about it. Shawn wrote about it, and those of us who have watched these teams over the last couple of years, I think, have thought about these are the two, kind of a culture clash in college basketball. And I know Shawn's going to disagree, but to me it feels like Izzo is still the way college basketball used to be, and Dusty May is the way college basketball is going. He's been more successful at it than Calipari has been, or some of the Duke or North Carolina coaches. But you had players, talent that was developed over years, like your Kohlers and your Carrs and your Coopers, and then you have basically an all-star team like you have in Ann Arbor and like other programs have tried to put together. And I think Dusty May be the first coach to put together one of these all-star teams that could win it all. And it feels to me like, as someone who doesn't like all the money in college sports, this is a terrible thing.
why is it so terrible?
yeah, but it's not just money with the portal. I mean, money's involved with high schoolers too, right?
And I think that's worse. And you guys, for years I've been saying, I'm going to have to like high school sports, but I'm sure the money's going to get
Let me
there.
ask you this.
It's gotten there before us.
Is it terrible that more guys are staying in college basketball to play? Like Yaxel Lendenborg would have gone pro if he didn't get paid. Is that terrible?
What's his degree? Tell me, why did he stay? Did he stay for the money?
Anybody can get a degree if they want to get a degree. He's a grad student, so he must have gotten a degree at UAB.
Okay.
It's
good.
it's easier to transfer in if you're a grad student because you don't have to worry about credits transferring. But are you telling me you can't get look at Ohio State football, right? It was just announced. Them and Harvard had that, what is it, the APR based on how over a 4-year period, how many people graduate and how many people leave the program. 100%. Them and Harvard, Ohio State football, who has a $40 million budget to bring players in, and they all fucking graduated. So the idea that you can't make money and graduate if you want to at the same time is ridiculous. And that's kind of what, this whole roundtable that Trump had with all these people talking, like Saban was just, I thought he was out of his mind.
No, they're disingenuous.
It's
There's
bullshit.
some layered stuff there that I don't. Yeah, it's
Nobody's
total
there
bullshit.
representing the player and the kid, but this idea that you can't get an education because you're getting paid, I think, is laughable.
No, it's everything.
That's fine, but let's flip it. If Yaxel can make money playing basketball in the NBA, then he should go there and open up a spot for another person to come to that university and get an education and make money, although it's not in that order anymore. It's go to get money and then maybe get an education.
Enrollment it keeps increasing every year. I mean,
at the
bring
university, I'm on the basketball team. You know, the way these college sports worked for some kids was this was their shot at a college education. They were good athletes, so they could get a college education.
I think for the
that
majority
they
of
couldn't
players,
otherwise
it still
afford.
is.
I would just like to say that that was my first time writing in 3 months, and that's why I was
let's get
nervous.
back to that. Yeah.
And that's why this is only a topic we've beaten to death for 7 years.
Well, no, I know. So let's get back to your experience.
No, or not. It was the atmosphere was great. The rivalry game is great. The coaches clearly don't like each other. Their handshake lasts like 2 seconds afterwards.
They're two very different, incredibly successful, really good teams, and they're just different. And this is what drives me nuts. Each fan base is going to be sanctimonious about the way that their team is built.
Well, no,
which I don't know what you people want Dusty May to do. He's been there for 2 years. You want him to? You're going to give him 4 years?
And he said when he was
to
hired,
develop guys. That's ridiculous.
When he was hired in, he said, you can't wait. He's right. You can't because you can turn a program around a lot more.
Izzo has the luxury of being very successful over decades.
And yet, if Izzo had his transfer guy. Backup point guard, Divine Ugochukwu. I don't want to get in the weeds here too much, but if he had played Sunday instead of Wojcik, then maybe he hits a couple of shots and it's a different game. Whatever. I mean,
possibly.
I'm not saying one way or the other. It's just Izzo has relied on transfer kids, young men, whatever, for the last at least have 6, 7 years, 8 years, and he's had some pretty good ones.
He's had a couple. He hasn't had a whole team of.
No, he's never had a whole team, but you can't. But he's had to dip. He has had to get into the transfer portal. Dusty May develops. He's got the top 5 recruiting class coming in next year of high school players. Right? I don't know that May's going to be able to do this every year. He hit on all 4 of his transfers. It's like Brad Holmes, the general manager of the Detroit Lions, who knocked it out of the park the first 2-3 drafts. Is he going to be able to do that every year? Absolutely not, and he has not.
No.
I will be shocked if May can do this.
They lost more to the transfer portal than player-wise, number-wise, than they gained. I mean, they lost 5 guys. They brought 4 in.
But you get 4 in, and all of them are
the best 4.
All of them are right, and they're all NBA level players. And you got to make sure they all fit on the court, and more importantly, or just as importantly, in the locker room. Anyway. So, that atmosphere was great. I hadn't written in 3 months. That's why I was nervous.
There's at least 4 teams in the Big Ten that have had more transfer players come in than Michigan.
No,
more.
It's just, the money's just, it's a little bit different with the money, right? Like Lindenberg, I think, was the most expensive get in the market last year.
And worth every penny.
And absolutely, and Michigan has the funds. Just on a personal note, it's the first time, like I said, I'd written in 3 months. I tried to write a little bit earlier in the week. I guess it was the week before because that game was Sunday, so last week. And we'd talked about, I just don't want to get too inside baseball here, but my editors tonight at the Free Press had talked about a column that addressed where I'd been for the last 3 months. Because as a columnist, a lot of times your readers, hopefully, they connect with you and you build a little bit of a relationship with them.
People love you, man.
So just, I don't know about that, but to start back
They're very tolerant.
To start back with just I'm writing about Michigan State. And I did hear from some people that night and the next day that were like, hey, welcome back. But we did talk about sort of addressing the absence, and I sat down last week and tried to, and this is after I joined you guys on Zoom on the show last week for that return. And I just couldn't. It was a little bit too much. It made me a little, I don't even know how to describe it. I just wasn't quite ready. So I called the editors and I said, hey, can I just get thrown into the fire?
We're very aware of you not quite ready.
Can I? Thank you. Can I just get thrown into the fire? I'm used to most of my career, all my journalism career, I'm used to deadline pressure, and for the most part. And can I just deal with that? I'll have to write. And how about give me an instant column? We call it an instant column. It means you file when the game is over. And that's really hard to do. It's hard to have something to say without contemplating it all after the game and going to the interviews. We write a second column or we update the first column, but just this is how we are right now. Right? This is where our world is.
Instant reaction.
People want instant reaction. So I knew that if I had that hanging over me, not hanging over me, but it would force my hand, and it did. And at first I struggled in the first half, and then the second half, and then I finally started to come. And when I hit that send button about 10 minutes after the game, and I got a little bit more time, I got lucky. It was senior day and at Michigan, and the team and the coaches were on the floor. And I was writing about the winning team more or less, so I bought a little more extra time. But when I hit that send button, it was pretty emotional. It surprised me. It surprised me how emotional it was. And I'm sure a lot of you out there listening have had similar experiences where you've been absent, whether health or something else in the family, somebody else's health. You had to take care. You haven't been able to do your job for a minute, and when you start to get to do your job again and do what you get paid to do and what your responsibilities are, it just it feels it's overwhelming in a good way. And that's what I felt when I hit that send button. I'm like, oh, I'm me again. I can still do this. And anyway.
When you were off, was there something you're like, oh, I wish I was working because I wish I could have written about that?
No,
or were you just like,
not at first.
No?
I don't know if we talked about this last week. Sorry if we did. But for the first couple of months, 6 weeks especially, couple of months probably, I didn't miss work at all.
Yeah.
When you're fighting and you're trying to survive, you you tunnel in, right? You tunnel inward, and your world shrinks. And that's it.
Okay, but looking back now, like, are you like, God,
no,
I wish I could have written about the Lions.
But as I started to feel a little bit better, I wanted to write about, this is going to sound, Michigan State had a game, I don't remember what game it was, where a former player there is Paul Davis.
Oh, yeah.
He got drunk. Yeah.
Got kicked out, right?
And got kicked out.
Twisted tea. You know how much twisted tea it takes to get a 6'10" guy drunk?
No, I wanted to write about that because, and we were talking about Izzo earlier, right? And what kind of coach he is and the old school. Well, I really appreciated what he did.
He handled that perfectly.
He's like, hey, he's gonna have to answer for this. I remember when Derek Nix, you guys, a lot of y'all out there probably don't remember him, and he was a center. He was a solid player, kind of a developmental guy. Ended up being, pretty good at the end of his run there at Michigan State. But he got busted for weed maybe in his car.
How quaint.
And right,
so stupid.
No, but Izzo made him. Izzo's always had an open locker room up there. He feels like, hey, these guys want to get to the pros. That's part of the NBA. You're going to have to learn that lesson, learn how to deal with that. Not only would he not let his players shy away if they made a mistake, reporters would come talk to him in the locker room. For Nix, he brought him to the podium the next day and made him sit there and answer questions about what he had done.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what he did with Paul Davis. But anyway, I would have loved to have written about that.
He also called Paul Davis out during the game and told him, get out of here. Yeah. What are you doing? Get out of here. It wasn't like, don't look over there.
Yeah,
like,
so writing about that, maybe Justin Verlander's return, that would have been kind of, just how people feel about him here. And, he's changed. He's matured. He was not always the easiest when he was young, right? And he would probably tell you that.
An epic battle with one of our baseball writers.
Oh,
for
Lynn
many
Henning.
Years.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I saw it in person with Lynn Henning. We were in Seattle,
our
and
colleague at the Free
they were
Press.
screaming at each other.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember there was something where he got really nasty with one of our former beat writers at the Free Press?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
But
really unfortunate.
stuff. Whenever, obviously, if there was a big
Then he
game,
married Kate Upton, and everything was fine.
If there's a big game moment, I always like to write about that. But I really lean into the things like the Paul Davis thing or the Verlander, where there's layers to it. And
no, you look for the subtlety, you look for the gray. You look for the humanity in people. I often say that you're the guy who would be with the dictator. You'd write about how nice he was to the cleaning.
No, I wouldn't. I would never write about making the trains run on time. You got to have.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you try to find things.
Not in a dictator.
That people. Okay, maybe.
Or not in a dick.
Maybe a tyrant, but maybe you look for things where everybody is got the torches and pitchforks. You try and say something like, well, at one time, Frankenstein was just a gentle, parts of gentle gardeners that all came together into one monster.
And sometimes you do want to understand where somebody's coming from or maybe why they are the way we are. And it's a society that's important because we want to be able to help and maybe prevent things and all that. In a column, I don't know that always works. And sometimes I feel like I'm kind of, maybe it's not the best fit. I remember when I got this column, arguing that I thought there was space for this, and I don't know if it works or not. I'm never going to win awards because I'm not going to be just right there, and I'm probably not a good enough writer for that. But I'm not a traditional.
You practically
columnist.
Won the Pulitzer Prize of sports writing. What are you talking about?
I'm not.
You're not going to win awards. You win awards.
I don't care about awards. I'm just saying.
Your column on the humanity of Madero, though, was kind of a little off key.
Yeah. But anyway, no,
misunderstood leader of Venezuela.
Question, yeah, there were some things, Mark. There were some things, for sure.
And now you're just back. You're back in time to talk about NFL free agency.
Yeah, we don't want to bore our listeners with that.
I know. That's why
I did write about it yesterday.
Are you kidding? If we say anything with the Detroit Lions in it, people around here eat it up with a shovel. It's unbelievable.
Well, no,
Those
actually,
guys
it's pretty
dominate.
easy home run to hit because most fans are like, why aren't we doing anything?
Well, no, it's interesting. What I wrote about, you were talking about yesterday real
Yeah.
quickly, I wrote about the Lions and Brad Holmes, the general manager, and the building of the offensive line, because the rebuild, the reason this has been so fun around here for most of the last, 4 years, is because the Lions had one of the best 2, 3, or maybe even the best offensive line. Their whole system was built around that. It drives everything. And
Isn't that what the Patriots did with Brady? Is you protect the quarterback and everything?
to a degree, Brady to a degree, Brady had a little bit different pocket presence than Goff, but it just matters for everything they try to do. And when Holmes and Campbell took over, they drafted Penei Sewell, who's turned out to be he's like the best right tackle in football. But they didn't build the line. The previous regime, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, left Campbell and Holmes with 3 really good players, including arguably one of the best centers in the league, one of the best tackles in Decker, and Jonah Jackson, who was a really good guard. He had some so they doubled down. So Holmes doubled down with Sewell. I said, we're going to add Sewell to these 3 other really good players, and all of a sudden that drove the rebuild. Well, now Holmes
Sewell's the only one left, right?
He is the only one left, and they've got a couple of young guys that have some promise, and they just made a trade for a center the other day. But my column was about, can Holmes hasn't had to build an offensive line by himself.
Yep.
Can he do it? Because if he can't,
I mean, maybe I'm negative, but I don't think you can keep getting the hits like he's been getting.
Exactly. So
he's got the draft or free.
He's got to show that he can rebuild.
Which I think is why people want him to spend some money, even though they're up against the cap.
But so what I decided to write about was, can the general manager who's had all the success do something he has not done yet? Maybe he can, but that's the key to everything for the next couple of years.
Well, and again, everybody knows this, I'm not a big Lions fan, but all the guys who are leaving, I'm
You love
kind of
the Lions.
surprised by. Montgomery's gone. Anzalone I saw or is it Anzalone?
Anal Zone.
What is it? Anal Zone? Okay. Yeah, he just signed with
Anzalone.
He just signed with Tampa
That makes me
Bay.
think of a lot of places I've been in the last few months.
I mean,
You've been getting your anal zone fixed.
I sure have.
soulmates we will not be
Balloons, water parties.
Wait, what? Ooh.
Air.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What's a water party?
Water party.
That sounds sexual.
Is
but
that like
I'm
water
guessing it's
sports?
not.
But
No,
with
it's
male
like
nurses?
it's like a balloon and water, and you think, okay, hey, it's a balloon water party, but not when the balloon and the water are going up places you don't really want them to go to.
Wait, what part are they inflating with the balloon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing, but I guess you for some imaging, doctors want to be able to see maybe your tract from your mouth to how it comes out. And so you drink contrast. Has anybody ever had to drink contrast?
Yes.
But that only goes so far, so they want contrast coming from the other part of that tract, and then they meet, and then it gives them a perfect picture. So in order to get the contrast in there, they have to inflate you with a balloon.
Perfect picture for you, maybe, but I'm not putting that on my wall.
They have to inflate you with a balloon a little bit, and then they put water in there, and then they put the contrast. Well, then maybe I'm getting the order. Anyway, what was funny to me is the first time I had this test, I get wheeled.
Sounds like it'd all be funny.
I get wheeled down into the imaging place, and I get pushed in there. The tech pushes me in, and the guy running the machines and the head of the test looks at me and says, "Did they explain exactly what was about to happen here?" And I thought, and I said, "Yes, they did."
That's a little ominous.
I said, "Yes, they did," but it made me realize how many poor people, get wheeled in there and have no idea they're about to have a balloon shoved up
that's what I was going to ask you.
You know what I mean?
Are you the kind of person that wants to know, I want to know every single thing that is going to happen to me in this procedure?
Not if I'm asleep.
Or if you're...
I don't
so
care.
you don't care. Okay.
I
See,
mean,
I'm weird like that. I want to know every step.
Well,
I want to
know. I want to know
me.
that generally, okay, yeah, we're going to go in and cut this part out of you. Yes, you want to know that, you know.
Oh, I want to know every step of everything.
No,
I don't know why.
There's
No, you're not the way.
No, I do. I do want to know, but like I came across the surgical notes the other day. I was looking for a receipt to turn.
Yeah, did you read them all? I love reading.
I started reading, but it was so long, and it started giving me and at the top of the notes they were like
into AI.
The top of the notes the surgeon said this was the chief resident helping and this was a PA helping, and then we needed a couple other people because of the complexity of the case. Ooh. And I stopped and I thought, I'm not quite ready.
Really?
When I saw the word complexity, I knew what that was going to go down the road of. They saved my life, which I'm grateful for, but I wasn't quite ready.
Yeah, but you're not looking for that one that's like colon intact. Well, not
I wasn't
intact,
quite ready.
Esophagus looks clean.
I wasn't quite ready to go through all that again just yet.
Wow.
But I will be. I will
Okay.
be.
Was there ever a point where you got your affairs in order, wrote letters, made sure all your bank accounts
We did.
were
We
documented?
yeah, we did talk about that. Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah.
We did.
That's pretty heavy, man.
And because they're talking too about
So what were you going to leave me?
everything.
That ass balloon had your name all.
You know what I was?
He
you know what I
turned
was
it
going to
into a
leave
little
you?
dog.
You know what I was going to
It was
leave you?
very cute. It was like going to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Tuesday. They had the clown there.
Wear it on my head.
Yeah, there's a little snake crown. You look like ISIS.
No, I had a dachshund up my ass,
Yeah,
basically.
there you go. That's could have been a pterodactyl. That would have hurt.
No, I was leaving you, Mark. I was leaving Mike. I was leaving Mike for you.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I mean?
I don't want it.
Well,
Return it.
those moments can be very very poignant, and I we should probably get the bell ready, but Kwame Kilpatrick, after he was elected mayor, we were still not flying that much because it wasn't that far away from 9/11, and I had to fly out to mayor school with him at Harvard, and I wrote a letter to my family. Just, if this plane doesn't land or something happens, just want you guys
What
to
kind of
know
plane
this
was
stuff.
it?
Really?
It was
It was a commercial jet, but I don't know
okay.
if you guys remember for a couple months after 9/11.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Just 2001. We didn't know our planes going up. Are they going down?
Oh, see, I would have.
We didn't have TSA. We didn't have any of this shit. It was just.
This is how I would have justified it. I would have justified it as, wow, I learned that our phones really work on those planes when they're going down, so I'll just call then if something happens, right?
People were calling their families
we learned that
on the Pittsburgh flight.
We learned that about 9/11, that your cell phones will work at certain altitudes.
Remember the Pennsylvania flight?
Yeah,
people were calling their families.
Well, Ted Olson, who was the Solicitor General of the United States at the
Yeah.
time, got a call from his wife who said,
It's awful.
"We're done, baby."
But that's how I would justify not writing a letter.
She was on the flight and
She was
went down to Pennsylvania.
I think she was on the flight. Well, one of the flights, and she called her husband, who was was Bush's Solicitor General, which is one of the top legal positions. And later on, he became the lead attorney on the gay marriage case. I don't know if that was a position he held before or not, but he became famous for other reasons other than having his wife call him as her plane was plowing into a field somewhere in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
I think my point is I just will wait to the absolute last moment to do something.
Yeah, but what if you
Most of us
get
will.
voicemail?
Huh? Well, then they get to hear my voice forever. They get to keep it. That's a win-win.
Most
Maybe
of
I would
us-
just
most of us
record a
feel
voice
that way.
note now and then text it to them.
But who's going to produce the show?
I don't cares. I'll be dead. I don't
It's
care.
all about Mike.
What I care.
Kind of
Find
selfish.
somebody.
It's all about you, sweetheart.
Yeah, well, it's my death. I can't be. It's the only time in my life I'm going to be selfish is when I die.
Speaking about it being all about you, sweetheart,
Uh-oh.
we should probably
There we go.
probably talk about a friend of ours
Absolutely.
who,
Good
whether
timing.
you're leaving a voicemail or whether you're writing a letter to your family, you should plan ahead. And if you're going to plan ahead, it's good to know someone who can help make that plan. And maybe the last time you considered looking at your retirement assets, Justin Verlander was throwing smoke for the Tigers, and the Wings were a perennial playoff team. Now JV is back on the mound for the Tigers, and the Wings are making a playoff push. Might be time to give your retirement future another look. Call or text Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748. That's 248-663-4748 for assistance with help to determine if your assets are aligned with your goals. Because when you call Luke, whether you get his voicemail, leave him a letter, whatever, he'll make it all about you, sweetheart.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. member FINRA SIPC.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc.
And my Geek of the Week is baseball related. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about our newest sponsor. This is an outfit that we've supported for years. In fact, one of the highlights of our year is always the DCFC game. And the DCFC kind of state of the team episode. We are looking forward to getting them on soon to talk about where this team is heading because they keep moving up. Bigger and better things are ahead in terms of the stadium. As much as I love Keyworth, it's very exciting days ahead for DCFC. But here's the most exciting thing I can tell you right now. Saturday, the season starts match week. We're in it right now, folks. On Saturday, DCFC plays Brooklyn FC at Keyworth at 4 p.m. We've got some of your favorites are back. There's some new players. It's the first time for you to see what's the Northern Guard up to. These guys are always doing something,
Bananas.
Come and breathe some smoke. It's the only place you actually want to have that much sulfur in your lungs, unless you are consigned to hell, which, some of us are just counting down. But it's going to be a great time. You can get tickets at Detroit or Det City, DETCITYFC.com. We'll have a link to their website on our website. So go see Le Rouge this Saturday at Keyworth, 4 p.m. as they take on Brooklyn FC, and they get after it.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
So my geek is quite simply the Tigers. This whole Tarek Skubal thing is just, the outrage just grows every time I read more about it. He said last week that he was not offered a long-term contract by the Tigers, and he doesn't expect to be offered one until after the season if he's still around. The way they approach this guy, who's done everything for them, been the best reason to go to the ballpark. In fact, there were Saturdays when, if you counted heads at Keyworth Stadium at a DCFC game or heads at Comerica Park, there were more people in Hamtramck watching soccer than there were watching the Tigers. And I'm not kidding. They were that bad. Skubal has helped bring this team back-to-back Cy Youngs. Greatest pitcher, just seems like a great guy. If he's not a great guy, he's fooled us all. And he goes into arbitration, and instead of showing him some respect, they lowball him. Then they bring in a guy who has nothing to do with the Tigers, pay him more than Verlander got in arbitration. If I was Skubal, if I was Skubal, I would have been so offended coming out of that process that I would never consider signing with the Tigers again. He's obviously a much more talented and bigger person than I am, but for the way the Tigers treated this guy, who's the cornerstone of that franchise, is disgraceful.
They did offer him. It was an incredibly lowball offer.
$12 million?
Yeah, it was embarrassingly lowball. That being said, I think he wants to test the free agency market.
Oh, he's got Scott Boras. Of course he's going to do that.
I don't think he ever had much intention of signing a long-term contract here. That being said, then you should just offer something he couldn't refuse just to see.
Yeah, or when you go into,
cheap. The Tigers are cheap. They don't want to spend money.
Or you go into arbitration, offer him $25 million. So the the way the arbitrators work, you take their offer or the other offer. When you're $20 million apart and the guy's a back-to-back Cy Young winner and you offer him $12 million, at least offer him $25 million.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Save some money. At least give the arbitrator something where you can say, okay, I'll do that. Because the guy they brought in, the free agent, they offered him more than Verlander got in arbitration. So clearly you understand the market is $30 million plus for a left-handed starter who's a horse. I mean, just everything about it says F you to Skubal, and by extension it says F you to the fans. So Detroit Tigers, you cheap, stupid SOBs, you're my Geek of the Week. And Sean will tell you they're okay, actually. They're not that bad.
See you again.
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
We come to the part of the show where we're not sure whether Sean is having gas or whether it's just because it's room 7609. And Herman writes, greetings and best wishes to Sean from a loyal Freep subscriber. While catching up on Solar Detroit shows over the holidays, I was psyched to hear Dope on the August 5th room 7609, as I first recommended them back in October of 2020. Sorry, Herman, we must have missed that one. Hence, possibly sowing the seeds of the first ever repeat song appearances of this segment. I think we did repeat a song one time due to my incompetence. It also got me thinking that I'm overdue for a suggestion, so here's a long but quite well-told story. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, a.k.a. BRMC, is a criminally underrated band which somehow didn't get airplay on active rock radio even before that format began its death spiral. To my knowledge, they've sadly never been included in Jim's picks. Shameless Red Shovel plug number 1. The pillars of the band are dual vocalists and multi-instrumentalists Robert Levon Bean and Peter Hayes. Robert is the son of Michael Bean, whose band The Call had mainstream rock success in the 80s. But rest assured, he's no Nepo baby. More on that on the backside. In the meantime, here's Black Rebel Motorcycle Club with Conscience Killer.
Give me a little room and I'll spin your eyes. It don't mean all that much, does it? But we never really had a choice. No, it don't mean all that much to us, but we never really had a choice. Conscience killers. I'm a red-blooded sickness. There was no way around it. I'm a fine line teaser. Never been nothing but a cheater. I'm a son of the night. Give me a little room and I'll spin your eye. 'Cause it don't mean all that much, does it? But we never really had a choice. No, it don't mean all that much to us, but we never really had a choice. Conscience killers. Don't want no conscience at
That was sweet.
That is pretty good. And I love...
Not bad. Although I thought we would probably have killed this segment while I was out for the last 3 months, but I guess not. I'm still happy to have people...
We were going to bury it with you, Sean. That was the price. You weren't willing to pay it.
What about a compromise where people can do what was... Oh, I'm sorry. Who suggested that? What's his name?
Herman, who
where
is a big
Herman
fan
could
of yours.
still... No, thank you, Herman. And I'm a fan of yours. But Herman...
He has more to say, but you're stepping on
Herman's
time.
Herman could still make the suggestion. It'd be great to say, hey, here's a little bit about a song, and we don't play a song.
So we did not do it last week for you, Sean.
Yeah.
That was,
oh, really? I didn't know that.
No, you killed it.
Because you always
were on
listen
so
to the
long.
show, so you can...
We had Spiro and then you.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. For
people were like, why are you talking to Sean?
I'm
Where's the song?
Thanks for the download.
I'm not really, but thank you.
Now you download into a colostomy bag. I guess that's where we need to put the show, which some people think that's where it belongs. But they're mean. They're mean. So Herman continues, without interruption from Sean, hopefully. Peter was an early member of the Brian Jonestown Massacre, whose frenemy rivalry with the Dandy Warhols was featured in rock documentary Dig, touted numerous times by Drew Lane himself. Shameless Red Shovel plug number 2. Dig is indeed a fun watch, but I digress. I first heard BRMC on a Plymouth Canton High School radio show proving at least that local terrestrial radio still holds value, and was fortunate to catch them live at St. Andrews Hall. Wow, before their touring hiatus began. Hopefully they'll be back in Detroit one of these years. But meanwhile, with so many good songs to choose from, Conscience Killer, as a great entry in room 7609. So start rocking now, and we did. And if you have been listening to the show for some time, as Herman has, we did play "I Still Believe" by The Call, but we did not play The Call's version. We played the version by the former junkie turned muscle man saxophone player that was featured in The Lost Boys when Jamie Gertz and Jason Patrick kind of lock eyes before he becomes a vampire. Sean, you remember The Lost Boys?
Yeah, it's a total guilty pleasure, that movie. We're not going to play that song, I hope.
You know what the problem with this town has always been?
Vampires.
Too many damn vampires. That was Bernard Hughes at the end when the Frog Brothers somehow save whatever, Las Cruces. Or
Kiefer Sutherland was the leader of the bad guys in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was great. And Edward Herman, local boy Edward Herman, who you probably have seen in various versions of FDR's life story, went to Grosse Pointe South High School back when it was just Grosse Pointe High School, was the lead vampire. And this is why you listen to this show, because there are tips on living that could save your life. You remember the Edward Herman's lesson, Sean?
I do not.
That a vampire can only enter your house if he's been invited.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So just a word to the wise.
I'm going to pull a tangent here, but you mentioned Jamie Gertz, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion on something.
Jamie.
So Jamie Gertz married a really, really, really rich guy, bought portion of the Milwaukee Brewers, but also owns the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh.
The Atlanta Hawks are going to have a Magic City night, which is a real famous giant strip club.
Oh, yes, but they weren't going to say it was a strip club.
No. Well, I mean, everybody, if you know, you know, right?
Yeah.
What Magic City is. It's big.
I mean, I didn't know because I'm a gentleman, but I'll take your
it's
word
big.
for it.
It's big in the rap culture world. Atlanta rappers rap about it. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a tie in Gertz, of course. She produced a documentary on Magic City, so there's the connection there. But they were going to have a strip club night. It would have been Monday, and the NBA stepped in and nixed it because they're like, hey, no, we pretend that we're a family organization.
And they were playing the Orlando Magic, too, which was the other tie-in.
Yeah, so I just wondered if you guys had an opinion about, like, are you surprised that they even wanted to do it? Should they be allowed to do it? Or do you have, I'm guessing Sean, you might not have any opinion at all.
No, I don't. I don't really care.
Come on.
Sean,
I don't really care. No, I mean,
are you surprised that an NBA team would do that?
Yeah,
Sean?
no, not at all. No,
Really?
I'm not surprised that the NBA would step in and say, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not the business model they want.
Sean's the guy who goes to the strip club and sits along the runway, not to give the dancers $1, but to find out what their story is.
But okay,
I want to get to know you as a human.
I'm the guy that drove by the billboard all the time over by the airport.
Flight Club?
The landing strip, and always was curious what that was like.
What it would feel like to have one?
What that was like.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, I'm just...
Yeah, I think it's
don't
crazy.
Really care, but
I think
let me
it's
play devil's advocate here.
Outrageous.
They have gambling partnerships. Is that worse? I mean, that's not really family friendly. Is that to me? I guess it's the same.
Well, I'm against that.
I mean, they're both they're both a little bit exploitative, but it's more the.
What about alcohol?
Well, that never got anybody in trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fine.
The NFL and Anheuser-Busch are buddies,
you're
right?
okay there.
Well, I think they all have an official alcohol sponsor.
Probably. And the gambling now, too,
it's just,
right?
To me, I always find it intriguing.
I mean, baseball's played on FanDuel, and hockey's on FanDuel.
Yeah.
And
I'm just always intrigued as to where the line is and where it moves, depending on, I don't know, who's clutching their pearls or which way the wind is blowing that day.
I don't think...
I mean, it's not... overall, probably not the smartest thing to have a strip club night with the NBA. I get it. But at the same token, it's like, okay, but that's because it doesn't generate the revenue and the money that, say, maybe an alcohol company or a gambling company would.
Well, you can do a lot more than you used to be able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of who you associate with companies, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
I just want to know your position on it. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Tangent ended.
I'm against it. But here's a tie-in that I think you can all feel good about. Next... Is that Herman? Next Tuesday at the Cadger Cafe from about 12:30 to 2, join me and some friends doing Detroit trivia and Irish trivia for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to have some specials, some drink specials. There's this amazing Irish concoction that the owner, John Rutherford, was telling me about. They normally go for like $9, which if you're me, you're like, I'm going to pass on that. Or I'm going to have somebody buy me one. That's kind of my secret trick. They're called shanks, believe it or not. And I know people have gotten shanked on the east side. It's not quite as much fun as Shanky's Whip, which is $5 all day. They're a black Irish whiskey liqueur from County Cavan, Ireland, blending Irish spirits and whiskey with natural vanilla and caramel flavors. So those are just $5. Come and catch me and some friends, do some trivia, do some Shanky's Whips, and I guess
what time are you going to be there?
Well, as soon as I get out of here till 2:00, hopefully about 12:30, and then they're going to have music all night. You know, it's St. Patrick's Day on the east side, so it's going to be a big deal. I do want to thank some of our donors. I missed this one. I apologize. I missed that Keith Broll sent us a one-time donation. Keith, we really appreciate it. It's already spent, so thank you. And we have a new soulmate.
We do.
But it's an old friend, our old buddy, Dave from the Butchery is a soulmate. So
thank you, Dave.
What's Hubbard up to?
What a great place. I'm sure he's still making amazing meals.
Yeah.
But we got to figure out how to get that cook-off between him and Shawn.
Oh,
Shawn.
No. I just opened a bottle of Ensure.
Yeah, years ago.
That's where I'm at right now.
Years ago, Shawn
Maybe
said something like, I'm going to
up?
dance on Dave's grave because I'm such a great cook. And Dave said, Shawn, I just would like to spend some time together sharing recipes and having some fellowship. And Shawn said, no, I'm going to own you because that's the kind of guy I am. It was really a dark moment that I haven't seen a lot of, but I guess really.
So. I don't really remember that. But
of course.
I guess I'll take your word for it.
We often forget the moments we're most ashamed of. We call those repressed memories, Shawn.
Okay.
So,
I just looked Dave up and what he's doing now. He took a new job.
Where's he working?
Executive chef for the SSA group in the Detroit Zoo. Man, lots of good meats to choose from there.
Yeah. Can't wait to get some of that.
Polar bear?
I was just going to say a little bit of giraffe loin.
Oh, really? That's a lot of loin.
That sounds...
Well, they did just have a giraffe die not that long ago at the zoo.
Probably pretty lean.
Carve that fucker up.
It'd be lean, right?
Gamey.
You could ask the lion what it tastes like.
Not enough fat on there. Yeah.
Look at Shawn. He's back. Okay, we have a little feedback before we go. So thank you. We still are looking for more soulmates. We do have DCFC back with us, so that helps our bottom line. But we really love it when you support us, because the thing about sponsors is they come and go. They can be seasonal. They can have ups and downs with their business. But the soulmates, you're with us every week, and your being with us brings us back every week. And Thomas, we'll get to you in a minute, sir. In the meantime, James writes, I've been listening for some time, possibly from the beginning. I was listening to this week's recent episode where Shawn talks about his health stuff. I've had a similar situation myself. I have an ostomy. Is that ostomy? I found that most people either ignore it or can't hear it. A lot of people think that it's just your stomach growling. The only person who's ever said anything is my wife. I've never had anyone actually say anything otherwise. I have Crohn's. Back in 2005, I had 3 infected abscesses in my colon and buttocks area.
Holy shit.
They temporarily bypassed me for a year in order to try and see if they could heal the tissue. Ultimately, it was too diseased to save, so they removed everything and made the ostomy permanent. I've been living with it for 21 years. I was 33 years old when this occurred, and I was given the choice to either live the rest of my life with an ostomy or die. Pretty easy choice when you're 33. Or when you're 53, or I imagine when you're 73. Day-to-day is not too bad. It's kind of like having a toddler that never grows up, that you have to constantly babysit because the bag is not very large. The good news is I could never shit my pants again. Were you doing a lot of that before, James? Shawn?
Don't make me laugh. It hurts to laugh right now.
We'll get to that.
I've been sitting here too long.
We'll get to that next week. However, it is possible to shit your shirt.
Didn't Mark pee his pants or shit his pants somewhere in Prague or something? Or
Oh yeah, no, the bed in the morning.
Oh, that's
hung over.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
My central trauma.
So you need an ostomy bag, basically.
I had one. It was
and
the
then
bed.
you can do that all you want.
Oh yeah, right.
I fortunately did not defecate on myself in Prague, but I did throw up all over the place and was rescued from the bathroom of a jazz club by an East German and a Belgian who
That sounds
somehow
safe.
got me back
Yeah,
to
but
the
the fact
youth
that you were in a
hostel.
jazz club and not
I know.
A punk club or
I wasn't going to see Rammstein.
a neon bar or something, you know what I mean, with somebody with spikes around the collar.
Well, this was 1991. Back then, new wave was just wave.
Like Linda
It hadn't got
Fiorentino
there.
in After Hours.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's an obscure reference.
No, here was the most modern live music you could get in Prague in 1991. People were playing the Beatles on the street because the wall had just come out. Who are these guys?
Don't justify your Kenny G leanings, please.
There was no soprano sax there. There was no Kenny G. I give my best to Shawn, and hopefully his turns out to be not permanent and he can be reconnected. I will become a soulmate in the future, but I've missed some work recently due to health issues, so money's a little tight.
Don't sweat it.
No problem. We're good. God bless. Keep up the good work and the investigative journalism. Now that Rob Wolchek is retired, I think there's nobody left in conventional media doing this stuff. Ross Jones is still doing it at Channel 7, so
he's about the only one.
Thank goodness for Ross. But yeah, thanks James, and we're glad you're doing well, and you can be an inspiration to Shawn because he just finds us depressing.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you very much for that kind note.
I'm dying to hear about Thomas.
Tommy has done it again. Thomas writes.
You got 4 minutes, by the way.
Okay.
3, actually.
It would take me more than that to correct the grammar here. I have
Be
listened
nice.
to you for a while.
His opinions are valid.
But I am done.
Uh-oh.
Your constant begging for money is ridiculous. And your constant condemning of Michigan is ridiculous.
Amen.
Never have anything condemning of state, or never hear anything. I mean, he misspelled it, so it's not really my fault.
Come on.
Never hear anything condemning of state.
He's typing in a rage.
I don't really care if you survive or not. Have a nice...
What about me?
Forever. So, Tom, since you have listened for a while, I guess you didn't hear Kenny Jacoby on talking about what happened at Michigan State.
Don't defend
with
yourself.
Mel Tucker. I guess you haven't seen or heard or read my columns criticizing the MSU Board of Trustees. I guess you haven't seen or heard or read my columns or these episodes criticizing the Green Wall at Michigan State. I guess you haven't heard all the things that we've said about how money's ruining sports. I guess you haven't heard or read or seen anything we wrote about how the effort to cover up the contract to Mel Tucker from two of our prominent alumni was a farce. I guess you didn't catch any of that because you know what? Like a lot of Wolverine fans, you only hear when somebody criticizes you. You never hear when anybody else gets criticized because all you think about is you. Well, it ain't all about you, sweetheart. And if you want it to be all about you, sweetheart, why don't you call Luke Nowacki, because he will make it all about you, sweetheart, and he'll help you have a better future so that you can continue to buy some of the best players on earth. So, Thomas, I'm sorry you're gone. But before you go, can you please tell me what you do? Because I'd like to go over there and ask you to do it for me for free. That's why we ask people to support us,
maybe
to keep the show coming
He
back.
doesn't have a job in the public eye.
Dude, give him a break. It's okay.
Job in the public eye?
Yeah.
Give him a break.
Well, we put ourselves out there.
I'm
We're
glad
gonna
I'm glad he's
I don't mind being
glad he listened.
No,
criticized. Here's what I don't like is someone who doesn't get their story right. If you don't know what you're talking about, you can shut the hell up.
But everything's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, you mostly do bad.
You didn't like last week.
That's okay.
Shawn, I know you're a big defender, Connor Stallion. So, yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think how many times Michigan State's been sanctioned or investigated, or our coaches have tried to kill somebody with a butter knife, all that other stuff. But yeah, that's not newsworthy.
I think the best part is you just proved Thomas's point correct.
Too bad he's not listening.
Be nice.
I'm going to send him. Give me his email. I'm going to send him the link.
Thank you, Thomas.
Oh, we forgot his email.
Thank you, Thomas, for listening.
Don't give his
so
email
it's
out. Don't be petty.
Don't dox him.
His name is Thomas Smith.
What's his social security number?
He lives at 72 Twin Oaks Way in Canton, zip code 7739er. Phone number is 555-55.
Thank you for listening, Thomas. Just don't pay attention to Mike.
Thomas isn't listening because Thomas don't hear.
Yeah. Mike and I are great.
I was going to say one of Thomas's friends will probably tell him, but then you got to have friends. So that's not going to happen. Anyway, hope to see you at the Caju next Tuesday.
What a dick.
Damn.
Thomas,
I'm going to write some feedback.
Thomas, I'll buy you.
You're a dick to Thomas.
Thomas, I'll buy you some Shankies because I think you're more familiar with Wankies, and those are still free. So help yourself,
Come on,
which is kind of how those work.
Can we just get to Cyrus, please?
Oh, sorry. Until next week, listen for Shawn and Cyrus. Take us out.
Can you dig that? Can you dig it?
you dig it?
Now,
ML.
what's the story for next week?
Next week, we're going to tell an exciting incident from the history of the American conquest of
Detroit.
It's the story of a wild and difficult ride by a lone horseman racing to get help for his comrades. And the central character is
Shawn Windsor,
who was known as Lean
Shawn.
Be sure to hear this exciting chapter from
The Soul of Detroit.
So until next week, this is your wandering vaquero, Frank Graham, saying, Hasta la vista, señoras y señores.